Hello, everyone. I'm Dennis Flower, former editor of leading industry publications and now working with SFG20 to support its 2024 virtual summit on 20th November. This has been launched to provide a wide range of advice on the highly important topic of future-proofing buildings. I'm joined today by David Hewins, Head of Facilities for England Rugby Football Union. He's kindly agreed to be interviewed on the topic of the use of digital-led maintenance, which will also be the topic of a panel debate within the SFG20 Virtual Summit. David, hello. How are you?
Hi, Dennis. Yeah, good, thank you. Good to see you.
And you, and you. So, David, I've got a few questions I'd like to put to you, if that's okay. Uh,
Absolutely.
Please feel free to answer them in however you'd like. I'll start with the first one, if that's okay, and that's this is what has led you to integrate a digital-led maintenance approach into your operations at the Twickenham Stadium.
So there's obviously multiple factors. The core of maintenance is the availability of the facility, and then the other parts behind that are the cost of operation and the cost of maintenance. And obviously, a big driver for us is making sure that the stadium is available on match days, that all of the spaces operate correctly, but equally that they work efficiently and cost effectively as well. What we found was we just didn't have visibility of the assets in order to be able to either have certainty and speed of response if there were any issues in the absence of digital data. And also, we needed to be able to understand the function of the stadium, how it operated on almost a minute by minute basis in order to be able to make decisions both on maintenance and strategy of the operation of the building. So that started to push us down the route of using our control systems, of drawing on the multiple different digital systems that we had within the building and trying to combine those and draw the data out and then try to make sense of that data in order to drive our maintenance policies, which has actually led us to I suppose, a hybrid model, not 100% SFG20, but that forms the core of what we do. There's obviously critical maintenance, there's SFG20 maintenance, and then there's an element of condition and risk-based maintenance as well, which is where the sort of cost-effective maintenance delivery comes into the equation.
That's very impressive, David. That's a great description. So impressed with your operation there. So if you're okay, let's move on to the next question.
Absolutely.
Which is what have been the barriers to its integration?
I mean, this is an emerging part of the maintenance industry. And again, I think part of it is the ability to integrate different systems together in order to be able to view data collectively and to be able to make sense of all of the different data in a holistic manner, to be able to then utilize that for decision making. Cost, I mean, that's obviously a big thing, and return on investment. And sometimes it's very difficult to be able to translate the benefit that comes from data availability into ROI, because it's not until you've made the decisions that then drive, I don't know, system replacement or system optimization, that you can then actually understand what the potential ROI is and what the cost benefit is of doing it. So there's an element where you have to make that investment up front, and on the basis that that it will be beneficial in the long run. So there's a bit of that. That's been difficult to be able to obviously build the business case for bringing in the different software systems and trying to bring them onto different platforms, the metering, everything else that you want to put into place. So they've definitely been barriers, I think. But I think probably the biggest one at the moment is trying to bring everything into a single platform. because at the moment, whilst AI is starting to come through and helping with the interpretation of data and sort of the digital input, it's still very human based. The interpretation is human based. And I know there's obviously a lot of emerging companies now and emerging software packages that can do that, but every building is different. Every building has different systems. There isn't a unified solution out there at this moment in time.
Yes, absolutely. Again, that makes perfect sense to me. So the next question, what impact has it had on the operation of the stadium?
A very fundamental one, to be honest. So both in the functionality of the stadium on event days, which obviously is the core of what we do. The availability for the England team to be able to play in front of 82,000 people, for all of those people to be able to come to the stadium, it be safe, available, comfortable, and for them to get the best possible experience whilst they're there. It's off the back of the introduction of more digital systems and a more digital approach to how we operate and maintain the stadium, we've increased the reliability of our assets, released and increased the reliability of the systems as a whole. Our reactive impact on a match day has decreased considerably. I think on our last match, we were something like 60% less events. We were 60% less reactive tasks than 3 years ago on a match day, which is incredible. And the other part is it's also helped us to drive down cost of utilities. So again, being able to identify wastage in the operation of this stadium systems, being able to operate the stadium more effectively and only when it's required, as opposed to it running 24 hours a day. All of those have helped us to drive down utility costs, which obviously is a massive factor. Also, obviously, the carbon footprint of the stadium is being driven down by that as well, which we've all got to work towards. But we've, as a result of that, we've taken 30% off of our electricity and something like 20% off our gas consumption just through effective operation of the stadium systems, which for a stadium, that's a considerable amount of energy.
Absolutely. I've been a big fan of your successes for a number of years, as you know, and I was looking forward to hearing about these in more detail. So thank you for sharing those stats. So the final question, if that's okay. So what does the future look like for digital-led maintenance in the stadia environment?
Oh, so there's a dream world that we want to be able to integrate all the systems. So it's not just maintenance led, but it's the operation and functionality of the building as a whole, and that all of it feeds in together. So the ideal world is where we're using AI to operate those systems and to draw on all of them, say from CCTV and access control and BMS, that when a customer arrives, before he's even in the building, we've picked up who that person is. We know that they're going to be in a particular room. We've already released the access to that room, so it's available for them. The heating has come on, the lights have been turned on in preparation, but it only comes on when it's needed. Off the back of that, we're recording the function, the use of that space, which then goes back into run hours on the plant and the systems. And it also allows us to know when areas aren't being used, so we can turn the systems off, so there's less wear, so there's less maintenance requirements, less cost for consumables, less time and resource requirements. It flows into the cleaning of the spaces, bringing in IoT sensors into that as well. So we're counting occupation, movement. So all of those elements for us will be absolutely key going forward, so that we're as cost effective in all elements of operation and maintenance as possible, but delivering absolutely the world class experience for users of the stadium.
David, that's been amazing. Thank you so much for all this wonderful description of what's happening at the stadium. It's great to hear how things are progressing. Congratulations again on all your wonderful achievements.
Thank you very much, Dennis.
David Hewins, thank you very much.